Welcome to the adventures of the Dark Horse. As this crazy year comes to a close, we've chosen 4 episodes of our Dark Horse story to encourage us all as we look into 2021. You see, the Dark Horse is a picture of any one of us who unexpectedly wins. He's a picture of grace. It's also a picture of great courage running into danger. And certainly that's the way it looks like we're facing in the year ahead. And so we chose this story to be an encouragement to all of us as an allegory, a metaphor of the courage, the insight, and the hope that we will need to face into 2021. Our story is read by our good friend Bob Souer, professional voiceover artist, and our reader as well on the unabridged version, audio version of Dark Horse, which we will be giving away as part of our end of the year campaign. But more on that later. For now, enjoy the story.
I stood frozen for an instant, watching the Dark Horse disappearing into the smoke. I suddenly recalled how he had led me out of the White Horse Ranch into freedom and beauty and adventure. It was the same now, except he was leading me into fire and possible death. Could this too be the way of the White One? I found myself running hard in the path of the Dark Horse, but it was like running through a hedge of thorns. Something was tearing me, straining within me, fighting and warring with my nature. Then, with a great rending that seemed to rip through my whole being, I leaped into the flames on the flying hooves of the Dark Horse. Every time I threw my legs forward, it was with pain. Everything in me told me I shouldn't be doing this. Everything but a new voice that sang encouragement to my spirit and urged me forward. And even as I listened, the voice sang louder. It was pure and clear and strong and bright, and it was winning. Smoke clawed at my eyes. Hot gases seared my nostrils and tore at my heaving lungs. I closed my eyes and kept running against all reason. Or was I running at all? It felt like I was swimming upstream in a river of living flame. Suddenly I was aware of a word. It wasn't a voice speaking, just an impression coming from deep within me, from the same place where the new impulse had driven me to follow the Dark Horse into this inferno. Water. Of course, the stream. Turning in the direction where I thought the nearest canyon wall would be, I ran with everything I had left. Scant seconds before I would have passed out, I found myself falling into the stream like a falling ball of flame. The stream was shallow, but as I hit the water, I rolled completely over, dousing any attempt of the fire to burn my hide. But I had to find a deeper spot. Rising on miraculously uninjured legs, I lunged my way upstream until I reached a deep pool, where with one last desperate plunge, I was completely immersed in the cool water. Horses are buoyant. Swimming is easy, and as I waited out the fire, my only remaining worry was the flaming debris from the trees above. It was a slow, thorough fire. The flames seemed deliberate, almost painstaking in their efforts to spare no living thing. Still, I was spared. And so was a small patch of grass along the riverbank on which I threw myself into a long, exhausted sleep. I felt her presence before I even opened my eyes. She was vigorously cropping the grass near where I lay. Quickly checking the position of the sun, I shut my eyes and tried to remember what had happened to me. It was mid-morning, so I must have been asleep all night. Then it came back to me. The fire. The stream. My escape. I had made it, then. The White One had led me through the fire on the heels of the dark horse. But what about the other horses? Had they survived too? And then there was this strange mare. Why hadn't she fled the fire? I opened my eyes again, and this time she jumped back a few steps. She had seen me twitch and knew I was waking. "Are you all right?" she asked. "I think so, but I won't know for sure until I get up." She was beautiful. Her coat was an amber that appeared more red than brown in the sunlight. She had a white streak between her eyes and white on her forelegs up to the knees, and she seemed spirited, not like the shy mares I'd known at the White Horse Ranch. I immediately liked the way she held her head high when she spoke. She presented herself like a stallion, but her features and movements were more graceful than any mare I had ever seen. "Well," she said, "why don't you try getting up?" "I will, if you'll give me half a chance." Thanks, by the way, for leaving me some grass to eat," I said facetiously. I struggled into an upright position, trying hard to regain some dignity. "I left you the grass where you were lying." Gee, thanks, I thought, wondering if she would have moved me if I had slept any longer. Actually, I was more thirsty than hungry. I turned to look for a drinking spot in the stream. It wasn't easy to find. The current still was choked with ash and charred debris from the fire. I returned from my drink to find her finishing up the grass that I matted in my sleep. "Sorry," she said, "but we haven't eaten for days." I found myself filled with a new kind of hunger, a hunger to do the will of the White One, to find out why he brought me here and saved me from the fire. "There are more of you?" "Oh yes, there are at least 12 of us who survived the fire." "How did you get in here?" "I should be asking you that," she said. "I've been here all my life, and the herd has been here for generations. Where did you come from, and how did you get through the fire?" "I'll answer that another time," I said, putting her off. "First, you must take me to the others." I marveled at my own confidence. Something had happened to me when I followed the dark horse into the fire. There was a new sense of purpose and direction inside me. I felt like I would know what to do next, just like I knew to head for the stream as I ran through the fire. It was like an inner compass directing me. And as I walked with this mare and heard her tell me how this valley was the only world that existed for her little herd, how there was some black magic that kept them from finding their way out, and how this once lush landscape had been reduced to a smoldering ash bowl that would not support life again for some time, I began to wonder. Could I be here to lead them out of this place just like the dark horse led us out of the White Horse Ranch? Just the thought gave me a shudder of excitement. "You believe this black magic, don't you?" I said as we walked. "Yes, I do." "But what does my being here say about that magic?" "I've been thinking about that. You must be either part of the magic or stronger." "What do you think?" It suddenly seemed important to know how she perceived me. "I don't know," she replied, "but there's something about your eyes that makes me feel safe." My heart pranced at her words, and it was just then that we came upon the other horses, gathered at the foot of the canyon wall across the stream at the opposite end of the valley. As we splashed through the stream, the others looked up and realized I was a new horse. I could see them freeze in position, ears pricked straight up. The first one to move was the stallion I took to be the leader. He put on a threat display common to all lead stallions when challenged by an intruder, but soon was convinced I had no intention of challenging his leadership, and we were able to talk. The other horses who had remained aloof during our sparring came closer, sniffing my breath, their faces full of curiosity. "How did you come into the valley?" asked the leader. "Through the gorge at the bottom end of the canyon," I said. Some of the horses took a step back. How did you survive the fire?" "Through the water. I found refuge in a deep pool in the stream." He nodded thoughtfully, obviously impressed. For a moment I struggled with a desire to keep him impressed, but then I knew I would never be comfortable taking credit when it wasn't due. "I was led here by the White One." Who? The White One. Where is this White One, and why is he not with you? He is with me. He is within me. I watched the puzzled look on his face and realized how little sense this all must make to him. A horse breaks the black magic and enters their valley, talking about being led by some white horse inside of him. The answer to their confusion, I realized, was to tell them the story of the White One. As I spoke, I noticed the faces of my listeners. Most of them had the same curious look. The lead stallion was stoic, but the mare was the most enthusiastic. I couldn't be sure, but for the moment I could detect a slight glint of light flickering in her eyes. As I related the story of the White One to these valley horses, I noticed, in amazement, my own growing excitement in an old truth. I had known the story of the White One, of course, since I was a colt, and had recited it countless times at the White Horse Ranch. But now I was living it. And just that suddenly I realized why the dark horse had led me into this valley and what I was supposed to do. It mattered not that I knew nothing of the whereabouts of the dark horse or my former companions. I was on my own, but I was not alone.
There you go. You're on.
Well, hello everybody, and this is the woman who ate all the grass around where I was lying down, and then when I got up, she ate all that grass, and that's because she was hungry. So that's a good thing. That's what she should have done. And I went and got a drink of water, and came back and tried to figure out what the next thing to do was. And that was good too. And that's what I should be doing. And not worrying about whether I'm hungry or what I have to eat or drink or whatever I'm at, because I'm here supposedly to take care of her and the rest of the group. And that's why we need you to take care of us. And get behind this ministry, because it's significant. What we're doing is setting people free all over the world. And not only that, we're trying to encourage, through the Holy Spirit, encourage people to become dark horses. In other words, ordinary people who then will turn around and set other people free. I'm getting ahead of the story, but you'll find out that's what happens. So that's why we need your financial support.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay.